to Millennium Computer's fast online tutorials for Page Builder. In this tutorial, you will learn how to use the wizard to create a custom reporting page. The Page Builder application may be on a different menu in your institution, but in FastHR, you can open it from the Queries menu. On the Page Builder menu flyout, click Create Reporting Page. I am going to show you how to create the custom reporting page using these 9 steps in the wizard. Enter page details, enter query, security, order by, select filter and data grid columns, filter setup data, filter setup properties, data grid column setup, and lastly select menu location. Step 1 in the wizard is entering the page details, which includes the ID, title, and description. The page ID identifies the report and is used as a key in the database, so it has to have a unique value. The ID cannot have any spaces, but you can use underscores. The page title is the name of the page and shows up next to the FAST application the report will be in. The description can be lengthy because you want to let the users know what this report is for. The comments are notes for the approver, telling them what this reporting page will be for. And now that I have added all the necessary data, I can click Next. In the second step of the wizard, you need to select the query the report will be based on. The queries in this list are from the Query Builder page, and I will select the one called All Employees. The next step of the wizard is applying security to your reporting page. Finance, budgets, human resources, student, and purchasing card are the FAST applications you can apply security to. Although I am showing the budgets security page here, FAST Finance also has the same options. Selecting the Fund Org option limits the data in the report based on row-level security for the user who is running the report. From each list, select the field that corresponds to the fund and organization fields in your query. If you select Use None, it does not limit security in any way and all data is available to the user. In FAST Human Resources, there are 3 options to force row-level security. The first option limits the data in the report based on employee ID. The second option limits data in the report based on data found at the job labor code level. Like in FAST Finance and FAST Budgets, if you select Use None, it does not limit security in any way and all data is available to the user. I am not showing it in this tutorial, but the FAST Student application uses instructor level security and FAST Purchasing Card uses card level security. In step 4 of the wizard, you can select columns as a sort order for when the reporting page is run. Please note that if you don't make a selection, the first column will be used. I'm going to scroll down and select the date of birth column and add it to the sort order list. I have chosen ascending sort order for this column, but you can also sort in descending order. You can add more columns to sort by, but the report will be sorted by the first column in the list on the right. If you want, you can select the column name and click up or down to change the sort order. If you decide you don't want to use the column, you can select it and click Remove, which is what I will do because this is a retiring employee's report and I want it sorted by date of birth only. Step 5 of the wizard is where you pick the field names you want to use as filters and data grid columns. By default, none of the checkboxes for the filters are selected. However, you can select them all by clicking the Filters button at the bottom of the page. I am only going to use 3 of them, CF03 Home, which is the organization code, class code, and date of birth. Note that each time I selected the checkbox to use it as a filter, in the filter type column, a list opened. This slide shows you the different types of filters, and for more detailed information, you can open the online help files. There are 2 ways to select a filter type. The first is to use the wizard, and you can open it by clicking the icon that looks like a magic wand. The wizard will ask questions and then suggest a filter type based on how you answered them. The first one asks if it is a date field. The next question asks if you will be filtering on multiple values. The third question asks if users can search for available values. And the last, if comparisons can be used. Please note that the questions asked depend on whether you click yes or no. I clicked no to all the questions, and the wizard suggested I use a drop-down list. You can also select the filter type from the list, and this is the easier option if you already know which one you want to use. And obviously for the date of birth field, I will use the date combo box. And now I can select the columns I want in my report. Let me just quickly go to a reporting page so I can show you the columns in an existing report. This is so you can see how the columns are laid out. Now I'll go back to the wizard. By default, all the column checkboxes are selected. However, I don't want to use all of the columns, so I will clear them. If you decide after all that you do want to use all the columns in your report, you can click the columns button again. I'm going to select 9 columns for the data grid. And now that I've chosen the filters and columns I want in the report, I can go to the next step. In step 6, I am going to select the data for the filters. As you can see, only 2 of the 3 filters need data. There are 2 ways to get the data for a filter. Use a stored procedure or build it from the main query. The benefits of using a stored procedure is that it is pre-written and it is quicker. Please note that some filters may only have one of these options. For the first filter, I am going to select the pre-written stored procedure called ORGN. And for the class code filter, the stored procedure is called EMP class. Step 7 is where you set the properties for each filter in the report. Most of the properties are filled in, so you don't have to change many fields. You may also want to wait until the report is finished to see what the filters look like and then edit and fine-tune them. The drop-down list filter has 7 properties you can change, although some other types of filters may have less or different options. Most of the properties are self-explanatory, but I do want to point out a couple of things. The sort is the order of the filters from left to right, and you can force a user to pick from the drop-down filter by clicking the mandatory checkbox. You can also set the maximum length of the typed value for this filter. In step 8, you can set the properties for the data grid columns. You can keep most of the column properties as they are and then change them after the report is finished, where you can visually see what it looks like. However, for the date columns, you must change the format. I have also changed the external ID column to a number format. Step 9 is the last and final step. This is where you select the menu you want the report to be on. Type the name of the report as you want it to display on the menu. Select the menu you want the report to be on. I will choose My Reports and then click Next. The last thing you have to do is click Create Page to save and finish your report. The report is now on the My Reports menu. It only shows in my user account and no one else can see it until it is approved and access is granted to the report.